First and Final Word with Nelson Jordan. I'm Chris Nelson. We're talking Week 4 in the NFL, the Sunday afternoon slate of games with our Redzone review. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on our social media pages, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. So let's go ahead and get started, Nelson. The Washington Commanders went to Atlanta and fell to the Atlanta Falcons 34-27. No Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin, no Austin Eckler on offense. Marcus Mariota got the start at quarterback. No Dietrich Wise Jr. on defense, among others, just to list some of the notables. So what were your takeaways from the game?
Atlanta just had a really good game. They had a great game plan, taking advantage of a defense that was overconfident from their previous showing against Las Vegas. They exposed them similarly on the big plays. We saw what Bijan could do. We saw what their tight end as well could do as well. And we saw what Drake London can do as well. So, I mean, got to give big ups to Atlanta. There was no defense in this game either because, the Commanders were able to go up and down the field at times. They were just not able to execute as much as Atlanta was able to, right? Atlanta was able to punch it in, whereas the Commanders, 4 straight field goals. I mean, hey, if you're trying to win a game, you cannot have that many field goals in a game, especially if your defense is lackluster. So, if anything, long story short, the Atlanta Falcons are coming out of this. Okay, we're 2-2. We're back up. Hopefully, we can continue this momentum. And then with the Commanders, they're thinking, okay, JD5, can you come back with us any sooner? And hopefully, we can start winning some games. What's your take?
Impressive performance from the Atlanta Falcons offense, 34 points. Michael Penix Jr. outside of the poor interception was tremendous. That 1-2 punch of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, outstanding again. Bijan Robinson, tremendous as both a rusher and a receiver. He is just outstanding and a real problem for opposing defenses. Kyle Pitts had a good game. Drake London had a good game. Washington secondary, very poor. Credit to them with all of the injuries, hanging in there, keep making it a close game and providing some entertainment. But the Falcons controlled throughout. The one highlight for the Commanders was really the 4th and 3 touchdown pass from Marcus Mariota to Deebo Samuel Sr. Tremendous play for them on that one. But credit to the Falcons for a good win in that one. The Buffalo Bills defeated the New Orleans Saints 31-19. Your takeaways?
Not that many. The Saints had us in the first half thinking that they were going to be able to keep up with the Bills. I mean, it wasn't until halfway through the second where the Bills started to kind of, take control of this game. I mean, you got to give credit. I mean, the Saints were coming in, they were showing some fight, but at the end of the day, the Bills are the Bills, and they're too good for them. Josh Allen had a nice day through the air, 2 touchdowns, one on the ground. We saw him make a nice scramble to the right-hand side on that rushing attack touchdown that he had. And James Cook, again, I mean, hey, this is one of the best backs in the league once again. 22 for 117 and 1 touchdown. I mean, enough is said about these guys, honestly. I mean, the Bills are just the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say anything positive about the Saints, I guess you can say that they covered, but they lost by a dozen, so I don't think we're really giving them any credit for that. That just seems absurd, unless you made some money, which congratulations to you. But in terms of an actual football game, the Bills took care of business.
Yeah.
Right? Their rushing attack, tremendous. James Cook was great. Josh Allen was good rushing, had a touchdown run in addition to his touchdown pass. That play that Shakir made against his former team along the sidelines, breaking those tackles at his size, was tremendous. Josh Allen's run when he broke 3 tackles, he broke a tackle and then juked a guy. Josh Allen juked a guy and then broke a couple more tackles. I mean,
That's Josh Allen.
Like Cam Newton out there, man. And then the interception by Cole Bishop on the Philly special play New Orleans tried to run. I don't think they're going to have Chris throwing a pass anytime soon. He had a touchdown catch. Maybe he should stick to that. He almost had another, but they've just missed it. But that interception for Cole Bishop was tremendous. Play of the game. That was outstanding. So good. The Detroit Lions beat the Cleveland Browns 34-10. Your takeaways?
Another game where Cleveland shows up in the first, I don't know, quarter and a half, just like the Baltimore game, and this was a complete replica of it. I mean, you had Cleveland and their defense, and also that great opening drive, as you stated. Yeah. They held Detroit in fits for I'd say about 20 minutes or so, until the Detroit Lions said, you know what, enough of this BS. Let's put the hammer down and let's win this game. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, give credit to where credit is due with Cleveland, but Goff didn't have any of his pretty games by any means. he still contributed. He had two TDs in the air.
He threw
We
a
saw
very
what,
bad interception, which we
yeah,
see
it
from
wasn't
him
good.
far
Wasn't
too
good.
often throughout his career. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't
outside of
good.
that, you're right.
But
Amon Ross St. Brown, outstanding though.
that's credit to the defense though, with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns defense, they always
That's
show some
fair.
fight.
And to be fair, Joe Flacco had a horrible interception, which was far worse. I'm still not sure who he was throwing the ball to, and we've seen plenty of that from him throughout his career as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And the bright spot for the Browns, I say, in my opinion, was Quinshon Judkins. I mean,
yeah,
hey, especially for the
the
rookie,
rookie
21
running
for
back.
82 on the
Yeah,
ground and one touchdown. Nice, 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 nice.
yeah.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, the Lions just made too many more plays, especially on defense. They had a pick return, I believe, for a pick six. I believe they also had special teams plays. They just made
Khalif Raymond,
more
one of the best
plays.
returners in the league. That punt return touchdown was
Yeah,
outstanding.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just made too many more plays than the Cleveland Browns did. So that's my take. You got anything on that?
No, I added some things in there as you were going along, and I concur with all
Okay.
of that. That's pretty much what we saw. I mean, Aiden
Yeah,
Hutchinson was tremendous. I'll throw that out there, and then I'll say it once again. Amon-Ra St. Brown was exceptional. I think he had seven
he's a
targets from
tank.
Jared Goff and caught every single one of them over 70 yards, two
Yeah,
touchdowns. I mean, he's
he's a
just a
tank.
superstar, man. He's a
Yep.
megastar. The New England Patriots beat the Carolina Panthers 42-13. Your takeaways?
Honestly, I thought Carolina in this game, I thought they had a great offensive game plan. They just could not execute when it counted the most. Their
Again, they
drives
came
either,
out great. They scored a touchdown. Same thing. Start, they're up 6-0, and then that extra point goes off the left upright, no good, and it went all downhill from there. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's like Carolina, just every single game they've had, it's like they showed this potential, and it's like they just can't find a way to get over a hump or to win the game. However, this was more of they were just shooting themselves in the foot. We saw what New England was doing. New England just made it count when it counted the most, especially when they were able to, pick off, whether it was Bryce Young or they were able to, have good special teams plays again. We saw that in this game. And Drake May, give credit to where that credit is. 14
It
for
was
17,
great.
203 over the
And a
air, two
touchdown run.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to get to that also, yes. But
absolutely.
also, again, the New England defense, I'm proud of them. They showed up. Vrabel did kind of call them out subsequently last game, and they made so this game. They had two TDs. One was, through special teams, and another one's through a pick six. So excellent, excellent job.
Marcus
Um,
Jones, those punt returns, two of them, the touchdown. How did the
mhm,
Panthers not bring him down? There's three guys there, and they'll miss him, and he goes. And then the second punt return, and two in the first
mhm.
half, he set them up, and he set the tone. And yeah,
Yeah. And to sum it up, New England definitely needed this game if they were going to compete for a playoff spot. So I'm glad for them they got this game. And Carolina, you're still in the rebuild. Anything else you want to add?
yeah, I just touched on again with Marcus Jones. A few years ago as a rookie, he immediately showed coming into the league he was one of the best returners in the league. So good to see him looking that way as a punt returner again now
Sure.
in his fourth year. I'll say it once again, Drake May was great. That trio of running backs, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, and the rookie running back, all had good contributions. They all played well, so they're doing a good job with that with this Patriots team. They gave up that opening touchdown, a garbage time touchdown with the backups in. Andy Dalton threw it to backup receiver. And in between there was just dominance from the Patriots. Six straight touchdowns, 42 unanswered. The special teams, as you mentioned, the punt returns, defense doing their part, Drake May doing his part. They're running the ball well, mixing with those running backs. It looked very impressive. So tough loss for the Panthers. Not necessarily a tough loss, but they got their butts handed to them.
Yeah.
The New York Giants beat the Los Angeles Chargers 21-18 in the second quarter. Pro Bowl wide receiver Malik Neighbors went down with what is reported to be a torn ACL. It looked like it at the time. It's expected to be confirmed. They were up 10-3 at the time of the injury. They would kick a field goal in that drive to go up 13-3 and then again hold on for the 21-18 victory. What were your takeaways from the game itself, Nelson?
Well, I thought also during the game, there was another impactful injury that the Los Angeles Chargers also had that you did not disclose. Joe Alt, he left with a high ankle sprain,
Yeah.
and there's no timetable on that. Obviously, there's no confirmation just yet, but that is a big blow to the Chargers offensive line as well,
Yeah, and to
considering
add to
that they
that,
already lost. Yeah, they already lost
yeah,
their star left tackle, Star Wart,
Pro
at the
Bowl
beginning of the season
Rayshon
during
Slater.
training
Yeah.
camp. Exactly. So losing now both your tackles, that is not good.
Yeah, and to add to
Um,
that, Joe Out was their starting right tackle, was a rookie last year, was the rookie right tackle, and the Pro Bowler Rayshon Slater at left tackle. He's missing the entire season with the injury. Joe Out in his second season now moves over to left tackle, so he's out. So you have two backup tackles out there for most of the game. To add to what you're saying, so you're absolutely right. I didn't mention that. And on the Giants side of things, to add on, they were without one of their second-year skill players in offense as well, and Tyrone Tracy at running back. We saw a lot more
mm,
rookie running back Cam Scadaboo. I mean, you've got Abdul Carter, a rookie, playing a big role in defense for a 3 over draft pick, and then Jackson Cart, the rookie starting quarterback. So these young players for the Giants playing big roles, but now you lose the most important one in Malik Neighbors potentially for the season. We expect this to be the case. So
Yeah, I'll leave it at this as to how impactful Joe Alt is. I thought Joe Alt was really, really good at left tackle. Even though they started him at right, there's a reason why he was a premium pick coming out of Notre Dame, and he was a premium tackle. So
yeah,
big recovery wishes to Joe Alt. Let me dwell into this game just a little bit.
yeah, please.
I was not one of the folks coming into this game thinking that the New York Giants were going to get run all over by the Chargers. I had this pinpointed thinking you're throwing these guys a curveball, Jackson Dart, a good way to start, in my opinion, with the curveball because there's no tape on him. And boy, did he prove Dayball right. Man, did he, for what he had, I'm going to be very clear what I'm about to say. For what he was given, for what he had, I thought Jackson Dart performed well for his first NFL game against a high octane defense, which is the Chargers. Yes, he did only have 111 through the air, but he also had 54 on the ground and one touchdown. To
Yeah, he did.
contribute to two TDs, excellent job by Jackson Dart. Congratulations on your first win. Nevertheless, this was still a sloppy game by both teams. We did see some stout outs. Amari Hampton, good job, man. Second straight
Nelson,
game where you
why did he only get a dozen carries? What is with the play calling? It's Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman. What are they doing? I mean, I know Najee Harris is
I
out, Khalil Mack out on defense as well, but why aren't
I
they running
wish
the ball?
I
Justin
wish
Herbert was
I
horrible.
I wish I could rub the genie lamp and have an answer, but I can't.
Amari Hampton was so good, man, but only a
He
dozen
was
carries.
he was excellent. He
120
was
yards
excellent.
on 12 carries? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, he was excellent. He was excellent, and he also had
2
a couple
runs
of
for
catches too out
touchdown
of the
and no
backfield.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
exactly,
did.
exactly. So I
Just
mean, hey,
ridiculous.
you know, either way, to sum it up, again, this was a sloppy game. New York toughed it out. They beat the Chargers. Congratulations on your first win of the year. But Dayball, I don't know how long you cooled off your hot seat, but you did just cool it off for one weekend. So let's see how you keep it less hot. But those are my picks. What about you?
I'd like to see Brian Dable go. I hated the way he celebrated with Jackson Dart after the game. It felt childish to me, and I hated the way social media hyped it up. Yeah, I'm calling all of you out. All of you out. At the same time, please go follow us. I'm just kidding. Hey, we gotta have fun with it. It's just ridiculous. We're like children. Let's acknowledge the fact that this guy has done a poor job as the coach. He acts like I did a great job starting you, dude. You started Russell Wilson the first 3 games. What are you proud of? I just Chargers were banged up. It's a typical banged up Chargers, tough close loss on the road. It's what we see. The Dexter Lawrence interception was an awesome play. That was the big highlight reel from the game for sure. It was awesome. Great play by him. We know how great he's of defense. One of the best
Hey,
defensive
got
tackles
to
in the
give
league year
love to
after
the
year.
big fellas. Got to
Yeah,
give love
that
to the
was
big
awesome.
fellas.
That was awesome. Justin Herbert was horrible except for the one throw he had to Quentin Johnston, which was a tremendous play. Big game for Quentin Johnston. Credit to him. The touchdown
Uh,
pass when I'm referencing, that was a perfect pass. That was nice. And I agree. Jackson Dart played well, running the ball well. So good win
mhm.
for the Giants. Congratulations to them. I know how excited those fans in the stadium, and I'm sure elsewhere
Oh yeah.
were. The Philadelphia Eagles went to Tampa Bay and beat the Buccaneers 31-25. No Mike Evans for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He was out with the hamstring injury. Your takeaways?
Philly had this game in the bag, it seemed like, through the first half. Tampa they were lackluster to begin with. Yes, it's a big absence that you're not having Mike Evans on there. We did see the start finally, or at least Chris Godwin come back from injury. He played in this game. Was he a
Tristan Wirfs.
factor? He wasn't that big of a factor, I'd say. But Tristan Wirfs also was in the game, to your credit as well. But he looked a little rusty too. So,
You expect that.
but give credit to where credit is due. I thought Philly had a good game plan in the first half. They executed. Their defense made some plays. I do got to question some of the refs because they did not see a lot of those holds. But we're not here to discuss that. But I just want to throw that out there.
You can
But I
you
got to
can
give
discuss it if
credit.
you want. I'm okay with
But I
that.
also but I also got to give credit to Baker though. I get it, you lost, but this is Baker Mayfield at its finest. He wants the ball last to be able to win the game. However, I will crucify you, Baker.
Thank
Why
you.
in the world are you throwing that ball into the
Thank you.
end zone, knowing that you
Horrible.
can either run out of bounds of another down, whatever you got to do,
Thank you.
but still, I mean, you throw it in, it gets picked off, back-breaking
Yep, that
interception. You
interception.
got to hope that your defense can now stall the Eagles out again because the Eagles' offense looked in shambles in the second half. I
Jalen Hurts was
mean,
0 for 8 in the second half. A.J. Brown had
yeah,
2 receptions for 7 yards for the
yeah,
game, obviously both in the
yeah.
first half.
And then Baker Mayfield had a shot to do a game-winning drive after going down the field, marching them down, etc. Once again, and he just couldn't do it. I don't know. And this is where I have beef with. What's with the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator play call on the final play that you know you have to have it? You throw everybody as a flood to the left-hand side. You're cutting half the field down. This doesn't make any
I
freaking
think you're,
sense.
yeah,
Use the whole field, man.
yeah.
So that just perplexed me. And I didn't get to if Baker, if you don't have anybody open on left hand side, all you gotta do, and I get it, this is in a split second. Get around the defensive end pass rusher and march your way to the first down line. Everybody was flooded to the left. There was some yardage to be had behind him. So I get it. We're from a fan point of view, but still,
Well, those
I
defenders
gotta.
are awfully fast in the NFL, and maybe in college he gets away with that. I don't
But I
know.
mean, hey, we saw that him do that in Houston. Okay, maybe he can do it again. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Different defense.
But
Okay.
either way, Philadelphia did come out scraping away alive in this game. However, they did lose one big lineman again, and this is going to be perplexing for them for the next 4 games. Because maybe if I'm the Eagles, I would maybe sit him a little bit. They did lose Lane Johnson. That has to be said. That is a big blow to the
Oh,
Philadelphia Eagles.
massive.
He
I'll
already had
live
a
forever.
stinger in the last game. Now that he
Yeah.
got injured again with that right shoulder is weak. The next 4 games that the Philadelphia Eagles are facing, 2 against the Giants, one cupcake game, and I believe they're also facing the next week the Denver Broncos. You better sit him.
What's the
He's got to get
cupcake game?
healthy.
The Giants games aren't cupcake games?
No, you got a defensive line pass rush and Thibodeau, and those other 2 guys. They got
Burns,
Burns.
Dexter
Yeah,
Lawrence,
no,
Abdul Carter.
yeah, no. You do not want to risk it. You do not want
Okay.
to risk it at all.
If there's
So
one
yeah,
team who
those.
can replace an offensive lineman, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They proved that. They proved it.
But we all hey, we saw what the LA Rams did to him and decleat him on a couple of hits when Lane Johnson was out. Trust me. I mean,
All
it
right.
doesn't look too well.
Fair
But
enough. And
either
to be
way,
fair,
those are my
that's
takes.
him going out during the game. This is when they have a week to prepare for him being out. Different scenarios, and I would argue that the Rams pass rush, maybe not as talented as the Giants, but coaching wise and schematic wise, ends up being a better pass rush than what the Giants have, or most teams for that matter. That defense is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
tough. But yeah, I agree with you. Hey, the blocked punt and Sidney Brown scooping the scoring to set the tone for the day and the game was tremendous. So big play right off the bat. The Eagles looked great in the
Hmm.
first half.
Hmm.
Offense, defense, rolling. Baker Mayfield had those 2 long touchdown passes in the second half. The touchdown pass, maybe
Hmm.
75 yards to the rookie receiver,
Hmm.
Emeka
Hmm.
Egbuka. What a throw that was. One of the best throws I've ever seen. He's on the run and threads the needle behind 2 Eagles defenders. One of the best throws I've ever
Baker.
seen. It was amazing. And then he had
Baker.
the other play scrambling around and hits the running back Bucky Irving down the sideline for the big touchdown. He was incredible, but when the Eagles weren't giving up those big plays, they got it done. And you're right, the interception in the end zone. And you were talking about the play calling. So just to piggyback on that, that's where they missed Mike Evans most. Excuse me, Mike Evans in the red zone. We've talked about it again and again and again. It's amazing how often when he's playing, the team is inside the 10-yard line or even just in the red zone, and somehow he always is open for a touchdown catch. It's truly remarkable. I mean, maybe guys like Keenan Allen have been in that category throughout his career, and I think they came to the league at the same time. And some others you could throw out there, but it's a remarkable thing to see. So that's tough to have his absence there, but for the Eagles to go on the road in a place they've struggled against, a team they've struggled against, and get this win, even with Mike Evans out, that was big time, especially since last year when they went there and got crushed. The one game all year last year, the Eagles were dominated. The storyline was A.J. Brown was out. Now it's the Bucs' turn to have their star receiver out of Mike Evans, so I don't think they're going to get any sympathy from the Eagles because if they had A.J. Brown last year, who knows? The Bucs now feel like if we had Mike Evans, who knows? It would be nice to see these two teams play fully healthy and each have their star receiver, but go ahead. Your final thought.
I think no, I think you might be thinking maybe Devontae Smith. I know AJ Brown played last
No,
year against the
no, A.J. Brown did not play against the Bucs last year. He missed that game.
he missed that game.
Yeah, he missed the game against the Falcons, which they lost, but they should have won if Saquon Barkley had caught the ball on the fourth down, and then they
Okay,
lost.
but
Yeah, he
it,
missed
it
the first
does
game against Tampa.
it does have to be said though. It is still frustrating, and you can still see, and I'll leave it at this bit. It still is very very frustrating that you have these two horses in the wide receiver room, and they got 0 yards in the second half. That is
Zero
very,
completions.
very
Yeah.
frustrating.
But I think the ultimate point is, and we've heard it made again and again and again. I'll give a shout out to Jason Garrett who made it last night at halftime. They won. They won. They.
I guess.
I almost cursed, but they won. I almost did it.
But yeah.
The Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans 26 to nothing. Your takeaways?
Not much to discuss this game, honestly. If you were
No.
watching this game on CBS, you were watching two defensive teams just smothering each other for the first three
Yeah.
quarters, honestly,
Yeah.
until Houston just somehow woke up from a coma and decided to come
I
alive
think
when
they
CJ
wore that
Stroud said,
defense down.
yeah, and then CJ Stroud was able
Yeah.
to, have two touchdowns. I mean, at that point, that was the game in a nutshell, honestly. And Cam Ward had his worst game of his NFL career so far.
Well, he's a rookie. He's it's not looking so good for him. Tough situation. I mean, there's all types of problems in Tennessee, in Nashville there, but the Houston's former team, they were the Oilers. They moved to Nashville, become the Tennessee Titans ultimately, eventually, and
Yeah.
now they go back to Houston as they do every year, of course, and since '02 when the Texans became a team, and this is the result. So very frustrating for that fan base, but
Hmm.
good win for the Texans. It's what we expect for them. They get a divisional win. They're absolutely dominant, and hey, a shutout. I mean, that's immensely impressive. So congratulations to them, to Miko Ryans and
Yeah, they
company for
needed
getting
it.
that done. Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Indianapolis Colts 27 to 20. I just go ahead and start with the play. I can't even talk about this. It's so frustrating to me that play happened. Go ahead. It's 2 years in a row we've seen this from the Colts.
I'll be honest, you're probably gonna have to talk about that play because I had the quad box going, so I might have missed it to be very, very honest. However, I will definitely discuss. This is one of the games that I had the marquee matchups. I thought Indy for the most part, I thought they had a good game plan. It's just that DJ did kind of fall back down to earth. He had some two dumb interceptions that he had, unfortunately. He was still able
Technical
to
penalties.
he was still able to, besides the interceptions, he still made that LA Rams defense a little
He
vulnerable. He was
got
still
robbed
able
of
to
a
move the
touchdown
ball.
pass.
Mm-hmm.
The play
Mm-hmm.
I'll reference here in a moment.
So as much as we saw those two interceptions, I like the fact that he was still fighting in this game. I do appreciate that from Daniel Jones. Oftentimes we'd see him crumble. Now the stars of the game: Matthew Stafford, 375 yards, three TDs.
Forget the
Puka
stats. How
Nu
good did he look? This guy's so good. Puka Nacua. He's so
Puka
good.
Nacua, have yourself a game. Have a
This
day.
guy's amazing. He's
13 for
amazing.
170 and one touchdown.
Oh
Holy
man,
crap.
he's so good.
He is the number two on the Rams behind Devontae Adams.
I
He could be
disagree.
the
He's number
number
one.
one.
Devontae Adams is two.
No, no, no. Well, on the depth chart, it's otherwise. But I'm saying that he's number one on just about almost every other team in the NFL, practically, unless you have a top five receiver. That's how good Puka Nacua is. I'm giving his flowers, man.
I'm not sure what
But
depth chart you're looking at because
I
there's three
mean,
starting wide receivers, so they're all number one by that definition. But at the starters, but he's the problem. He's the number one option. He's the guy.
uh, no, he's the number one option. He's in the flanker opposite of Devontae. At least that's what they like to do.
Right.
That's why he gets so
That's
many passes because he's on the backside, which that's what McVay likes to do.
yes.
Either way, long story short, if you're Indy, you're going to come out of this game, I think, somewhat okay. Well, you know what? We lost, but at least we lost competitively
No,
because that's what you guys did. You lost
no, they beat
competitively with your.
themselves.
I will overrule you in this sense. Your defense was going up against a juggernaut offense, but at least you can say for the moment, okay, our offense did some good against a good defense, which LA Rams do have. So at least you can come out of that with that positivity, and at least DJ did not crumble the entire game, right? Because everyone was expecting for the Indianapolis Colts to be completely humbled on all sides with the LA Rams. That's my take.
No, it makes me sick to my stomach. We see this far too often. Last year when they played in Denver, we talked about this before. They beat the Broncos this year when they came to Indianapolis. But last year when they played in Denver, Jonathan Taylor's going in for what I believe is a 75-yard touchdown run and forgets to take the ball across the goal line with him, drops it before he crosses, so it's a touchback instead of a touchdown. They did the same thing. I mean, that touchdown
Oh, I
catch
know what you're
was
talking about now.
spectacular. It was an unbelievable catch. I will admit, I was watching it, and he threw that ball to him, and I was like, there's no way he's making this catch. And as soon as I said it, before I even kind of thought to myself, I shouldn't have said that. He's going to make the play. And he caught it, and then he broke through and got to the end zone, except for he forgot to take the ball with him, and they cost him the game. I don't know that they would have won anyway. Maybe they wouldn't have, but it cost them the game when it comes down to it. And that's why it's a horrible loss, because you can't do that. Just take the ball with you, dude. We see it far too often. That should have been a touchdown. It took away from what should have been an even more spectacular finish of the game. I can't get over it. I'm so upset. Puka Nacua was unbelievable. Matthew Stafford's unbelievable. Tutu Atwell had the big-time game-winning touchdown catch on the long catch. That was an amazing play.
Correct.
Burnt the defense.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Devontae Adams, I believe, had a touchdown catch as well. They have so many weapons. Sean McVay offense. It's spectacular, but
Gotta love it.
I can't let it go. I can't let it go. We got to move on.
Well, that's you.
6 months out, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
You got to take the ball with you, man. You cost your team.
I remember the play. It was the rookie. The rookie definitely did fumble the bag before he going into the end zone.
And then he ruined it. He should be an all-time highlight reel instead of it's an all-time on the blooper reel, and it's going the classic.
Sports Center not top 10. Sports Center not top 10.
Classic NFL films, football follies. Shout out Steve Sable, the legend of all legends. The Jacksonville Jaguars went to San Francisco and beat the 49ers 26-21. No George Kittle, no Brandon Ayuk, no Nick Bosa. Your takeaways.
I did not have this game anywhere near this score. I did not see Jacksonville going into this game and knocking off the San Francisco 49ers. But hey, give credit to Liam Cohen and that team. But at the end of the day, this was a self-destruction by the San Francisco 49ers. They had outgained them. They had, I think, in my opinion, outperformed them in multiple facets of this game. But listen, you cannot be the San Francisco 49ers and expect with 4 damn turnovers and expect to win that game. Even at the very end. I mean, Purdy, what are you doing? Stepping up right into literally the defensive end, literally crashing on you in a fumble. Come on, man.
He did.
It just honestly was despicable. But you got to give credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne had himself a game, 19 for 124 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. CMC, shout out to him as always. I mean, 131 total yards and a touchdown. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, you're never going to win a game with anywhere near 4 turnovers and expect to win a game.
Well, and when Jacksonville didn't turn the ball over.
That was a shortcoming, too. That's usually Trevor
Lawrence. You turn it over 4 times and your opponent doesn't turn it over. And
yeah,
my only other 2 points I want to make with this game is,
go ahead,
and if
finish
Nick Bosa's in the field, this is different. Travis Etienne's long touchdown run, you have to make that tackle. Credit to him for breaking the tackle on the sidelines. But if you make that tackle and maybe limit them at worst to a field goal, and then you can't give up the punt return touchdown, which again, credit to him for a big-time punt return touchdown, but you can't give that play, which, by the way, Dave punt return touchdowns, that's already 3 that I've mentioned.
Special teams, man. It's been going on since last week.
The blocked field goals, which we're going to talk about more of those here shortly. But, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, one of those games where you scratch your head. You scratch your head if you're a 49ers fan.
But, hey, big-time win for the Jaguars, going out all the way out west to Santa Clara, playing at the San Francisco 49ers and getting that win on the road. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. You said it.
I know we're getting a little bit off the field stuff, and we don't usually do that, except for we had some TMC comments earlier. But did you have any thoughts on that? We heard last night about
the Salah
and Liam Cohen, and the comments from Robert Saleh and the frustration of the part of Liam Cohen. I watched Robert Saleh's press conference during the week and heard what he said, and there were some other interesting things in that press conference that maybe you and I can talk about.
Honestly, I kind of, I don't want to say I disregard those completely, but the coaches know better. The coaches are always on the spotlight in the NFL, and they need to grow up, and they need to be a lot better than having a lot of that stuff. And plus, at the end of the day, Robert Saleh, why in the devil are you even giving any? You cannot give any bulletin. You cannot. What is the one thing in the NFL that we know best? You cannot be a team that has. Yeah, exactly. That has a better stature, better culture, but yet you're giving your opponent more bulletin material to be motivated to come into your house and show you up. And that's exactly what you did, Robert Saleh.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, just wanted to touch on that, but we'll move on. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens 37-20. It has to be noted, Lamar Jackson went out late in the third quarter with the hamstring
elephant
injury.
in the room.
the Ravens were without multiple starters on defense, including some high level starters, Pro Bowlers, All Pros. Nnamdi Madubuike was placed on IR and didn't play. They had 7 starters on defense. 7 of the 11 starters on defense did not finish the game for the Baltimore Ravens. Again, some of those started and went out at different points of time during the game, but it's rough there. And we know the guys they're missing on offense as well. What were your takeaways from the actual game itself?
If I'm a Baltimore fan, I gotta face the facts. If you're Ravens, you are in deep trouble. You are treading water. There's so many injuries. I mean, and plus, it was uncharacteristic to see Lamar Jackson fumble the ball when it was a close, somewhat of a at least reachable game at that point too. That was uncharacteristic of him. The offense was erratic. We did see from the very beginning that they were able to move the ball, but then they
Great
also
opening
stalled
drive. We
out.
said that about three
hmm
teams in this that got
Right,
their butts whooped, but had great
right.
opening drives for touchdowns.
But then the Kansas City Chiefs, they responded. They were stalling them out multiple times. They were frustrating Lamar. I mean,
Sprinkle,
Lamar,
shout
yeah,
out
Lamar was just having trouble delivering the ball to
again.
his receivers. I mean, it was just, I'm going to sum it up like this. Kansas City might be back. Holy smokes, did
Of course. Come on.
that offense come alive now that they got
Patrick
Xavier
Mahomes
Worthy?
had one of the best games I've seen
Yep,
from him. He was
Worthy
unbelievable. He was
Worthy made
unbelievable.
a huge
He was
difference
so
coming
good.
back. We saw an active Hollywood Brown. We saw
Yeah.
an active Travis
Travis
Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Heck,
Isaiah Pacheco.
I was getting to that. I love the fact that now they got a running game going. Now, granted, I know that the Ravens are without some of their best defensive linemen. However, it has to be said. I pointed this out last week. The Ravens were in trouble against Detroit. And again, they were in trouble today. That should give now confidence to the Chiefs to be able to roll the ball going forward. So excellent, excellent stuff. If this is the Kansas City that we can see going forward, then hey, maybe Nick Wright on FS1 might be, hey, shining some banners pretty soon. No, but I'm just kidding in all fairness. But no, Kansas City did look good. I got to give them credit with the Chiefs, especially with Andy Reid. And what is up with your fans, Kansas City? That stadium looked half filled. Did your fans already quit on you guys already? Because that's my only one big, literally that one big glossy looking thing out of the whole game. That stadium was half full, especially against the game against the Ravens. Should have been a sold out stadium. What gives? What are your takes?
I mentioned some of them as we were going through, and you did a great job covering all of it. The game was a blowout. The Ravens had a garbage time touchdown, which was a big run from Justice Hill. Congratulations to him for that play. But I mean, they had the backup quarterback in the game, Cooper Rush. They brought
Yeah,
Dallas, and there's just one much safe. It was 37-13 prior to that, and again, that came in garbage time. Patrick Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes. He did not have
amazing
a
game.
single game last year when she threw 4 touchdown passes, but his accuracy was pinpointed, doing a lot
On
of them on
point.
the
On
move,
point.
getting space to make plays. I mean, he just looked unbelievable. He looked like the best version of himself, and that's what we want to see
He
from
looked
him on a
happy.
consistent basis.
Yeah.
So I liked seeing that, and that's despite the fact that without Rashee Rice, who was suspended for the game.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bears went to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders 25-24. Game-winning touchdown run from DeAndre Swift, followed by, stop me if you've heard this one before, a blocked field goal. Nelson, your takeaways.
I mean, this game had the ultimate level of, shall I say, what do you feel like after you've had a couple of mixed drinks, a couple of shots? This was the ultimate just, I mean, up and down, and you couldn't tell who had control of this game. It was back and forth, which was nice,
Yeah,
but no team could just close it out. It was honest to God. I mean, we saw Las Vegas come out on the thump, jumping out. We saw what Ashton Genty can finally do in the NFL. He had a couple of big runs. One was called back on a bad penalty. I got to give that. But either way, I thought he played great. He himself, I think, had over 150 yards total, 1 touchdown on the ground, and 2 TDs through the air.
great as a
Good
receiver as well
stuff,
as rushing.
man.
He was outstanding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Raheem Mostert was
Yeah.
pretty good, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And we're
like the
talking
offensive
about,
game.
really quick, we're talking about the Raiders, who were the worst rushing attack in the league last year. And we talked
But
about it. Now that Pete Carroll is there, and you bring in a first-round draft pick in Ashton Genty, you bring in Raheem Mostert as a Pro Bowler a couple years ago, hurt last year. Maybe it changes things. Man did it against that banged-up Bears defense. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But how pissed off do you think Pete Carroll is with Geno Smith right now, man?
3
How
interceptions.
many more interceptions can he take by
Oh
Geno?
my goodness,
How
he's
many
ridiculous.
more can he take? I mean,
Because
it is
outside of that, it was playing well. But I just, I
when you
think
get
I start
like
to feel like they have the game plan was to run the ball, which they did effectively, and then to throw the ball down the field, which is what they always did with Russell Wilson, and it worked. And I know Geno Smith had success doing that in Seattle, but they don't have the receivers for that. You've got Brock Bowers and who else? Trey Tucker. I
Trey
just
Tucker.
don't.
Well,
It just doesn't work. I think you need to have a more of a normal passing game. This isn't 60 years ago in the old AFL. I think you need to be able sometimes to run maybe like a West Coast offense style, God forbid, and actually dink and dunk a bit or have intermediary routes. It's just too much throwing the ball in the field, gunslinger mentality, and so you're going to put up all these yards and touchdowns, but you're going to throw all these
right.
interceptions, and you're going to lose the game.
But to twist it around, like you said, listen, Chicago took advantage of it. Chicago took
Yeah,
advantage of the interceptions. Caleb, for the majority of the game, looked very erratic, very spotty with his throws.
yeah.
But you got to give credit with Caleb. On the last drive, as you said, when they went down the field to get that touchdown, especially that run, Caleb led them and made some excellent plays
Yeah,
with his
he
arm
was good,
and
not great. The
legs.
interception was bad, but yeah, he did enough.
Well, I'm talking the last drive to ultimately
I
take the
know you
lead.
are. I know you are. I'm kind of tying it all together. I know. And I do want
Okay.
to say with Geno Smith, 2 of those interceptions, the first 2, which I think both came in the first quarter, definitely in the first half, were from
Yes.
Kevin Byard, who's the veteran now in his 10th season. But we're talking about a 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he's racked up over 30 interceptions in his career. So, that's not a chump, but still,
It's
everything we said still holds. It still holds.
yeah,
But I do want to
but
throw that out there. Shout out Kevin
right.
Byard.
But either way, if you really look at it from a microscopic aspect, this comes down to plays. Honestly, the turnovers, which the Raiders had, bit them in the butt more so than Chicago. And then Chicago, as you stated, had that game-winning block field goal. And apparently, the guy who blocked it said, "We know one thing, and the way I was able to jump it early." Literally, he said the center, this long snapper, always moves the ball just slightly. As soon as he saw that, he gunned it and he blocked it. That's excellent detail by that guy. But excellent by Chicago. Either way, you're two and
Yeah.
two. You're still fighting. So good job, Chicago.
to
Any
go on the
takes?
to go on the road in the NFL, regardless of where you're going, Las Vegas or whatever, and pull out a win like that is a big deal. No matter how bad the
Mm-hmm.
opposing team might be,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a Hall of Fame head coach and Pete Carroll, and they
Pete
have some
Carroll.
good
Yeah.
players. They went out and they gritted out that win, so that's big time. And
Big
so
time.
yeah, absolutely. And that was all we saw from the Sunday afternoon slate of games. That's it for our Red Zone review. We will be back to discuss the Sunday night football game, which we know you all were very heavily interested in. So tune back in with us for that. But
I
for right
was.
now, for Nelson Jordan, I'm Chris Nelson. This has been the first and final word.